Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here. As you can tell, the dog has decided that my lap is the place to be, so she's going to stay there throughout. There's also some stuff behind me because, like I said in a previous video, I am moving in the next week, so I'm obviously packing stuff, so again, bear with me for that. But today we are doing another tag video. Like I said, this has kind of turned into a tag month basically, where I'm just doing the tags that have been tagged in and some extras as well. So today I'm going to be doing the alphabet soup N is for Novella book tag, which I was tagged in by the wonderful Charlie from Charlie Brook. The original was done by somebody I now can't remember, so I will link down below the original tag video down below. So big thank you to whoever created it, and a huge thank you to Charlie for tagging me. This was a long time ago she tagged me in this, so I'm finally going to get there. But there are lots of questions that are based on N, and yeah, let's get started. So question A. Question B, what am I talking about? Question number 1 is N is for Novella, and it's the last good one you read. And so for me, I went with The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling because I don't really read a lot of novellas, and I didn't really know what counted as a novella. Oh, this dog is heavy. Here we go. Yeah, I didn't really know what counted as a novella. And when I looked it up, it was a book that's quite short and maybe is sets of short stories. So I was like, that's what The Tales of Beedle the Bard is about. So this is a set of 4 or 5, I think it is, short stories, fairy tales almost, that come from the Harry Potter world. Yeah, it's tales from the childhoods of a lot of the witches and wizards, and it's one of the sort of it's in the Deathly Hallows. It talks a lot about it in there, and it also in this one has it has each of the stories, and then it has a note section from Dumbledore that just explaining kind of what the tales are, I guess. And I really enjoyed it. It was a 3-star read. It wasn't anything overly exciting, but it was fun, and it was nice to read something else from the Harry Potter world. Question number 2 is N is for Neighbour, a work of fiction focused on, or at least largely concerned with, neighbours. And I went with lot number 249 by Arthur Conan Doyle, which is the author of Sherlock Holmes. But this is not a Sherlock Holmes novel. I actually really didn't like this book. It's a really short story. It's from one of the Penguin Black Classics editions, I guess. And this is a story about mummies coming to life, and yeah, it was interesting, but it's basically about 3 men who live in 3 flats in the same building basically, and they suspect things are going on with each other, and thanks dog, no, but yeah, it's really interesting, a bit weird, but it has neighbours in, so it worked for this question. This dog is so cute. I don't even know what to say. Oh, he's just collapsed. Question number 3, N is for name, a writer you'd recommend whose first and or last name starts with N. And I really thought about this, but I went with Claire North, who wrote the first 15 Lives of Harry August, which was a great book that's really stuck with me. It's a sci-fi time travel type novel that basically follows Harry August, who basically relives his life over and over again, but each time he does, he remembers his past lives, and then in his 13th life or something, a little girl comes to him and says that the world is ending and he needs to figure out why. It was a book I really enjoyed, and I'd love to read more from Claire North because it's the only book of hers I've ever read, and I would love to read some more. So yeah, I would love to know, have you read more Claire North, and what did you think of it? Because yeah, I really loved that one. Question number 4 is N is for Nuptials, a work of fiction that didn't suck about a wedding. And I really struggled with this one, but I ended up going with Always the Bridesmaid by Lindsay Kelk, which I know I've talked about recently in a different tag video, and I don't like to sort of repeat myself a lot, but I did actually really enjoy this one. This is basically a book about a woman who's always the bridesmaid, and suddenly it's her wedding, and it all kind of flips on its head, and she's suddenly going to be the one who's in the limelight. And yeah, it's a really interesting book. I just really loved it. It's kind of fluffy contemporary, but my favourite. And as you all know, I'm getting married next year, so I love a bit of a wedding. You okay? What's up? You okay? I feel like I'm getting further away from the camera because the dog is pushing me. Are we good? We're good, okay. So question number 5 is N is for Not Aging Well, a book you like less than when you read it. And I had to go with the Twilight series by Stephenie Meyer. I will say I love the other books that Stephenie Meyer has written. I love The Host, and I really like The Chemist. That's probably my favourite one. But yeah, the Twilight series I really liked when I read it when I was younger, and I really liked the movies, and I think that it is what it is, and I think now I'm probably just not in the right age range for it, and it's not a book that I feel super nostalgic about. So yeah, I really did like this book at the time, but it's just not one that I will... I tried to reread the first one and didn't like it, so I'm not going to go back to it, I don't think. Question number 6, N is for N. Interesting. A book title with lots of N's, and I know that when I think Emily did this, she said Anna Karenina, and I mean, she stole that one from under my feet a little bit, but I ended up going with one I haven't read, but I don't know, I couldn't think of anything else, which is Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. I realise there's not loads of N's, it's just 2, but it's got N's in it, and Dickens, that's an N as well somewhere. So yeah, I wanted to read Charles Dickens as well, so it was a good one to bring up in this tag. So question number 7 is N is for not sure, a book you keep changing your mind about whether you want to read or not. So I went with To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. This is one of the books that I have on my Kindle, and every time I think about picking it up, I sort of change my mind, and it's basically because this is a retelling fantasy novel. And I just don't know how I feel about it. To be honest with you, I don't really do well with retellings. I'm not the biggest fan. I've read a few that I like I really love the Cinder, Marissa Meyer series, the Lunar Chronicles. I really love that. I did enjoy the Court of Thorns and Roses. I think that's what it's called. I enjoyed the first one. I haven't yet read the other one. There aren't lots of them that I love. I really hated the Alice in Wonderland one I read last year. I can't remember what that's called now. So yeah, I'm not sure if have you read To Kill a Kingdom? Let me know. Is it good? Will I enjoy it? Will I hate it? Should I just take it off my Kindle straight away, or what should I do? Let me know down below, please. Question number 8 is N is for nitpick. Some small literary, writing or book related thing that drives you around the bend. And could have gone for so many things here, but I ended up going with the fact that all thriller characters have very similar names. There's always Rachel, Louise, the men are called Jack, and it's just annoying. It's come on guys, think up something else. Why are they all called Rachel? There's always a Rachel in every thriller. Question number 9. N is for Next to Nothing, a book you read as an adult you can barely remember a blessed thing about. And I was really thinking about this, and then I realised that although I read the entirety of the Anna and the French Kiss series, so I read Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After. The only one I can really remember anything about is the first one, which was my favourite when I read them, but I kind of wish I remembered the others. But I genuinely, the second, I remember mentioning it in a tag video once before, and I was like, I don't even know what to say because I can't remember what happened, so I'll go with those ones. Question number 10, N is for New Zealand, a book or writer you'd like to read from there. Find out about one if need be, it'll be fun. So I really want to read The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton, I'm not sure how you say her name. And I believe that I think the book is set in New Zealand, and I would love to read it. I'm really interested in that book. It's a massive book though, it's 900 pages, so it does put me off quite a bit. But I've heard good things. I don't really know even what it's about, I just know that a lot of people that I trust have really enjoyed it, so yeah, I feel like that would be a good one to do. Should I do that as my project book next year? Question number 11 is N is for Nodding Off, a mind-numbingly boring book. And for me, I went with Kim by Rudyard Kipling. I did not like this one at all. I read this last year. It was when I used to do on my TBR videos, I used to do a random pick that was just a random choice of my shelf, and Kim happened to be the one that came up a few years ago, or a year ago. And yeah, I ended up reading it and I really didn't like it. It's just so dull, nothing really happened in it. Yeah, I haven't read The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling actually. I haven't read it, I've seen the movie, so I'm interested to know if it's Rudyard Kipling's writing I didn't like, or if it just happened to be that book. So yes, keep your fingers crossed for me. And then question 10 is N is for Next, the next book you're going to read. And if I can do this without depositing the dog off my lap, because there's nothing behind him. Oh, here we go. The next book on my shelf, or my TBR right now, is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This is based on a true story, but I believe it's fictional with non-fiction elements. And this, hang on, there we go. This is the book that you all picked for me for you picked my TBR video for November. Actually, it drew with another one, and I might try and read the other one as well, but this is just the one I wanted to read at the point, and it's also the one I haven't packed. of my book. So yeah, really excited about this one. It follows a man named Leil Sokolov who is in Auschwitz, and he has been given the job of tattooing the prisoner's mark for survival, and he sees a woman there that he, I think, starts to fall in love with. And I know that the second one in this, Silka's Journey, has just come out, so I feel like I need to get the first one read, so at least I know that the second one is potentially something I could get to. And then question 13 is, N is for now it's your turn, tag a bevy of booktubers. So I have 3 to tag, and that is Weeby Bookin, Books with Emily Fox, and Mary from With Cinnamon Please. And then my video shout out is going to be Justine from the channel I Should Read That, who I'm also going to tag in this video. I just want to say I love Justine's channel, and I think that you all should go and check her out. I feel like she deserves so much more love. She's just phenomenal. I absolutely love everything she posts. I really enjoy her videos, and I just think she's so wonderful, and really just like, I don't know, really charming. So yeah, go and check out her channel if you haven't already, and let me know what you think of this video down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye guys.